No, you didn't? Oh, okay. Fantastic, man. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Success Show. I got to get used to saying that, man. I'm just not used to saying that just yet. Good old Nelson gave us another adjective. He's probably going to add another one on in like 6 months. It's going to be a long, long name. Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Success Show. Thanks so much for tuning in, man. We are going through the 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth, or the 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth, however you've written it, by John C. Maxwell. And we are in law number 9, which is the law of the ladder. So I think it'll be good for us to just recap real quick with the first 8 laws that we've gone through so far. And so the first law was the law of intentionality. The law of intentionality, basically saying that you want to know where you want to go. You want to be intentional about everything that you do as it relates to you going towards your idea of what success is for you. You want to be intentional about your growth. And on this show, we are daring you to grow. We're daring you to get better. We're daring you to take the next step. We're daring you to get to the next level of your life, of your business, of your career, of the things that you are developing. Law number 2 is the law of awareness. This is the law where you want to be aware of your surroundings, but also you want to be aware of those who can help you move forward. In other words, you want to be looking for mentors. You want to be looking for accountability partners. You want to be looking for people who won't always agree with you, but they'll tell you the truth, and the truth shall set you free from your very own self. The law number 3 is the law of the mirror. It's the law where you want to ask yourself, when I look in the mirror each and every morning, what is it that I see? What is it that I see? Hopefully you see awesome. Hopefully you see greatness. Hopefully you see phenomenal when you look in the mirror each and every day. Law number 4 is the law of reflection. This is a law where every day throughout the day, you want to take moments to pause. You want to take moments to reflect. You want to take moments to capture the moment. And especially in those times where you might find yourself getting a little frustrated. Take a pause, breathe, reflect, and then come back. Law number 5 is the law of consistency. Consistent action breeds success. Some of you guys have tried stuff once. You've tried it twice, but you haven't been consistent in it. And you find the reason why you're not successful because you're not consistent. What is it, that thing that you want to be intentional about that you want to do? And will you be consistent in doing it until it works? That's the key word, until I keep trying until I'm successful. Law number 6 is the law of environment. You want to be in an environment where that's conducive to growth. If you are the smartest person in your room, it's time to find a new room. Because here's the deal. If you're at the top, there's no place for you to go but down. And so you want to find a place that's going to be conducive for you to grow to another level. And that's going to require you to find a new environment, to find new people to hang around, to find a show just like this. That's going to push you to your very best self. Law number 7 is law of design. The law of design is about you developing strategies and systems that's going to make sure that you're successful. It says here that you want to maximize growth. You want to develop strategies and systems that you can put in place, things that are easy, simple, repetitive, that you can continue to do. That's going to take care of the things that you can. So you'll free you up your time in order for you to develop other things. Law number 8 is the law of pain. How do you manage bad experiences? Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn. So good management of bad experiences leads to great growth. Now I found in bad experiences, when I've stepped up to the plate, I became a better person. It's during those bad experiences, man, that you can really grow to a whole nother level, depending on how you deal with the pain. And you know what they say, guys, when the going gets tough, the tough get going. Are you a tough person? No pain, no gain. And now we're into the law of the ladder. Barry says basically character growth determines the height of your personal growth. Character growth determines the height of your personal growth. I'm your host, ERGJ, certified financial educator. We got Pat here with us, our co-host. How are you today, sir?
Better than phenomenal.
Better than phenomenal. How's everybody doing today? I hope you are doing well. He says he's phenomenal, and so are you. How are you guys doing today? How are you, Nelson? How are you, Veda? How are you, Abdul? How are you, Miss Steele? How are you, Anthony? How are you guys doing today? Great, fantastic. That's what I'm talking about. I'm glad nobody said fine or good. Like, yeah, I need some phenomenal words.
Where's our amazing people?
Amazing. So where we picked off yesterday, you said you got an echo, Pat? I didn't hear it. Where we picked up yesterday, we were talking about the rungs of character development. The rungs of character. And the first one said that character matters. This was the state where he said mighty. That's what I'm talking about. This is they said I will focus on being better on the inside than on the outside. I'll focus on being better on the inside than on the outside. And the key point to that is that the inside influences your outside. If you're feeling great on the inside, if you're happy, if you are joyful, if you are triumphant on the inside, then ultimately it's going to exude to your outside. You can actually be a person that goes into an environment and you bring your own weather. That's right. You can be a person that goes into an environment and bring your own weather. And that's what we're daring you to be. We're daring you to be the light in dark places. We're daring you to bring the sunshine when it's the rain. We're daring you to bring the weather, not be influenced by the weather. Those are people that are reactive, but you're proactive because you're coming from a place that's on the inside. And so the inside victories also precede outside ones. And then our inside development is totally within our control. Here's the piece where most people miss it. They think that for some reason they don't have control over their own development. When the reality is that you do. It's you who decide what television shows that you watch. It's you who decides what radio stations you listen to. It's you who decides what you come on Blab and you pay attention to. It's you who decide these things. So you are in control of your very own development. Now, when I go into the high schools and I talk to the high schoolers and the middle schoolers, here's the question I ask them. I say, hey, you got a smartphone. Yeah, everybody does. Are you doing anything smart with it? See, here's the deal. There are plenty of apps that you can download to your phone. And I've looked at most people's phone, they're going to have a couple apps. They're going to have some game apps because you got to have your entertainment. They're going to have their Facebook app. Got to get on Facebook. But then the question is, what are you paying attention to when you get on Facebook? Probably going to have a YouTube app. Again, the question is, when you go on YouTube, what are you watching? It's you who controls your very own development. And most people are leaving their control somewhere else, and they're thinking they don't have anything to do with their character development. Pat.
Well, and how important it is to be intentional. And we start that by deciding what we watch and what we listen to and what we feed ourselves. You are who you are. You are where you are, spiritually, financially, in every way, based upon what you've programmed yourself and what others have programmed you. You can change where you are. You can change who you are. You can change your finances. You can change your relationships. You can change anything if you start becoming a different person. And you become a different person by feeding it a different thing. Feed your mind different. Your mind will act different. Then you will physically act different. And then the world responds different, and everything changes.
If you want your life to change, guys, you must change. That's it. It's just a decision. If you want your finances to get better, you got to change. That's it. And why not now? And so we're daring you to grow. Basically, we're daring you to change. We're daring you to get better. We're daring you to take it to another level in your own personal development. And part of that personal development is your character development. As you develop your character, then you'll see that you have a greater capacity for personal growth. And as you see that potential for personal growth, you're going to go after it. If you want your life to change, you've got to change. All right, so then the next one was, number 2, was that people matter. So not only does character matter in our development, in our character development, but people matter. And this is where you follow the golden rule. You'll do unto others as you will have them do unto you. If you want love, you're going to give love. If you want happiness, you're going to give happiness. Give unto others, and it shall be given unto you. So this is the place where you actually become selfless. You look out for the betterment of your fellow man, and you see that you're well taken care of just by doing that. It's the principle of generosity. It's the principle of the golden rule, however you want to call it. But we get up each and every day, right? And we're making deposits into one another's life. And I can tell you this, when I get up in the morning and I get on this show and I deposit into your life, I'm expecting a return. That's right. I'm expecting a return. That doesn't mean it's going to come back to me. I'm expecting a return in your life. I'm expecting that this show, this seed, this 30-minute seed is going to make a difference in your day-to-day and ultimately in your life overall. That you are going to grow and you're going to say, you know what? The Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Success Show has something to do with it. And that's what it's about. Pat.
Well, and I look at this rung of the ladder as the fireplace. If you want the heat, you have to do the work of bringing the firewood in, loading it, starting the kindling, starting the fire. You have to be the one to take the first step. You have to build the fire if you want the heat. You can't look at the world and say, give me, give me, give me, and expect the fireplace to give you heat. You have to fill it first. Start the fire.
Start the fire, man. Bring some wood to the stove. Bring some wood to the stove, man. Faith without works is dead. And the third step or the third principle here was that passion matters. It's basically says that I will teach only what I believe. And so as you ask yourself, in whatever arena that you are in, is it an arena that you are passionate about? And do other people, are they able to see just how passionate you are as it relates to whatever it is that you're doing? And I always say this, guys, that we need you operating in your position of power. And in that position of power is wherever you are most passionate about. Typically, if you're passionate about some particular area or thing, you're going to become an expert in that area because you're super passionate about it. You want to learn everything you can about it. You want to be the best in that arena. What are you passionate about? And are you operating in that place of passion? And then I would say, if you're not, you want to find what you're passionate about and find more ways to do it. That's where we need you at in this world. It may not necessarily be your job. It may be something that you're doing on a volunteer base. Maybe something you're doing on the side. It could be something that you just like to do. What are you passionate about? It says here, borrowed beliefs have no passion, therefore no power. Are you living off the beliefs of someone else? Maybe your parents, maybe your spouse, maybe the society. Or have you developed your own beliefs? I.e., yeah, it's okay to be rich. But borrowed beliefs have no passion, and therefore they have no power. And we need you operating in your position of power. Pat.
Well, and you have to remember, God didn't make no junk. God didn't make no junk. We believe you can do it. We know you can do it, and you know you can do it. Do it.
And we got an excellent example of that. Ms. Veda's here with us today. In case you guys don't know, we've been doing this. I don't know how long we've been doing the show. I can't even just tell you how long it's been. But we've seen people grow. We've seen people have success since we started this show. This is why we keep doing it, because it's working. It's effective. When something is working, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It is working. So Veda kind of shared her story with us and went through some things. But she just had a very successful what is it called? Premiere. I don't know. When you first start something, I guess it's a premiere. With her spoken word show. And so she decided from this show, she got the confidence to do something new and try something new, try an idea that she had, put the idea together. Next thing you know, her event was sold out and she's working on her second event, I think coming up in May. This is all spawning from coming together with like-minded people that's pushing one another to greatness. How many places can you find in this world where people are pushing you to your very own greatness? I don't find many. So it's great to be able to get up in the morning. For me, it's mornings. I'm on the East Coast. I know we got people all over the world. Somebody's in Toronto, Oklahoma. You might be anywhere. But it's 7 a.m. over here in the East Coast of the United States. And so we get up in order to connect, to motivate, to inspire, and to challenge one another to be great. How many places can you find like that? Challenging you to be great, not allowing you to disappoint your very own self. No. You're going to come here and, hey, we're going to do this thing together. It's a village we build together. And so we're partnering to each other's success, not expecting anything, but knowing that because we're giving unto one another, that things will come our way. New ideas will come our way. Strategies will come our way. Success is going to happen because we're not trying to do it by ourselves. Teamwork makes the dream work. Do you have passion, and what are you passionate about? So now we get into the fourth step, which is today, which is perspective matters. Perspective matters. I will have humility above all virtues. And so he goes into a few different points within this. Again, this is John Maxwell, the 15 Laws of Invaluable Growth. We're in the law of the ladder. We're talking about climbing the ladder of character, growing in our character, and then growing in our personal growth as well. He says, first thing, you want to remember the big picture. The big picture, man. Why is it that you started what you wanted to start in the first place? What was the ultimate goal? What was the big vision? That if you keep the big picture in mind, you'll always have something to walk towards. Now, here's the deal. You want to remember the big picture, but you want to focus on the next step. Some people get overwhelmed by that big dream, and it's so big that they never get started. But I know I'm connected to people that are getting started. I know I'm connected to people that are in action. So as you continue to build, you want to keep the big picture in mind. This helps you to stay in your lane. Remember the big picture, Pat.
And don't be afraid of the big picture. And if you were planning a trip, and I don't know where you are in the United States or where you are in the world, because this is a very large platform, but sometimes to go to a long distance, maybe you're going to take a plane instead of driving a car. Maybe you have to go to the airport to go to your destination. Your destination may be south of you, but the airport may be north of you. You may have to drive a couple miles north to get on the plane to fly thousands of miles south. So sometimes it seems like maybe I'm going the wrong direction from where I want to go, but maybe that is the next step. Maybe the next step is to take the pause and get the education. But look, what is my next step? Don't let all the detail. Don't worry about, well, what am I going to do, a year from now when all this happens? Well, don't worry about that now. That'll happen a year from now. And yes, plan for things, but do the next step. Don't let what's going to happen 5 years from now stop you from doing what you need to do today to start. You don't have to be great at everything to start, but you do have to start if you're ever going to be great at anything.
Absolutely. How many of you guys know some people that plan, and never get anything done? They got their whole life planned out, but they're not walking. Plan. As a matter of fact, you see this in corporate America. They do so many meetings, so many plans that it takes them years upon years just to ever execute. And you're looking like, it doesn't take that long to do this one thing, but they're so caught up in meeting. They're so caught up in planning. Now, planning is important, but I feel execution is way more important, because you can plan until you die, but if you never execute, what actually did you get accomplished? You want to start to execute some of these things that you got written down. You want to start getting in motion towards these things that you got set up. Go ahead, Pat.
Well, don't confuse activity with accomplishment. And that's a major problem. People confuse activity with accomplishment. They are not the same thing. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're accomplishing anything.
Good stuff. Good word. And so once we talk about remembering the big picture, the next step was to recognize that everyone has weaknesses. Recognize that everyone has weaknesses. This is kind of important because there are many times I see in our relationships with people, or co-workers, or our family, we kind of look at things like, you know what, you're supposed to be perfect, but I'm not. And it's okay for me to make mistakes, or me to have whatever I'm dealing with throughout the day, or whatever the case may be, but it's not okay for you. And we have this tendency to treat people unfairly based off of our own expectations, and not remembering or recognizing that everyone has weaknesses. And I think if we take this approach to say, you know what, everyone has a weakness, everyone has an issue with something or somewhere in their life, then we can tend to foster better relationships, because we keep that in mind, that number one, I'm not perfect. And number two, I'm not expecting you to be perfect. And this minor area may be your area of weakness. And maybe, just maybe, I can help you in your weakness, and vice versa. Maybe, just maybe, you can help me in the area where I'm weak at. If we take this approach I believe that we'll develop even better relationships because we're not expecting anyone else to be perfect, because guess what? We're not perfect. Pat.
Well, and if you approach people with the heart and the intent of realizing that they're hurt, because the reality is we all have a hurt. We all have it. And it's different for all of us. But, if you ever look at someone like why they always got a sour puss on their face, well, they're hurt. Why are they not more friendly? Well, they're hurt. What would you do if you ran across somebody that was physically hurt in a car accident or something? You would go and render aid, right? You would not take it personal when they were yelling and screaming because they're hurt. Well, if you approach life that most people are hurt, you're going to probably be right. Because we are.
Yes, man. So not only do you want to recognize that everyone has weaknesses or remember the big picture, but you also want to be teachable. Be teachable. Hopefully in your life, you have someone that is a mentor to you or accountability partner or is a teacher. And I found a lot of times that people want coaching, but they're not teachable. In other words, they don't want to listen. They don't want to show up, but they want miraculously for things to get better. You got to be teachable. You got to have a heart to say, you know what? I don't know everything. And even my limited knowledge has brought me to the place where I am right now. And so in order for me to really accelerate my growth, I have to be teachable and let people that are further along the path than I am teach me these things. This is why I love to talk to older people, people that have lived the life that I'm trying to live, and they have way more experience than I do. I get in front of them and I just close my mouth and let them tell me whatever it is they want to tell me. They have wisdom more often than not. And obviously everybody that's old doesn't have wisdom, but I found that if I just let them share their life experience with me, it helps my life to get better. Are you a teachable person, or are you the person that's always in the front of the room trying to tell everybody else what to do, and you're not listening to your very own message that you're preaching? Pat.
And this isn't a matter of, well, I bought the course. It's a matter of, did you actually take the course? Buying a tool doesn't fix anything if it just is sitting in the package and never got out of the toolbox. And so many people buy into all these things, the new shiny object, but they don't actually take the tool and put it to work. And work is involved. You have to, like Nelson said, you have to implement. Just saying, well, I'm going to buy the book, and I got a library full of books never read. The book you don't read don't help. I heard that from somebody.
The book you don't read doesn't help, guys. The class that you don't take doesn't help. The workshop you don't attend doesn't help. Laying on the couch doesn't help. Not only buy the book, read the book. Never know where your life's going to take you when you decide to just do what you know you should do. Once you become teachable, guys, once you recognize that, the other point is that you want to be willing to serve others, man. A principle of getting rich is this. You want to solve more problems. You want to serve more people. The more people that you can serve, the more people that you can help, the more people that you can elevate. Here's what I found. And I asked this to the students as well. I say, would you rather get $1 million from one person or have 1 million people give you $1? And I always go with the 1 million people. And here's why. If I can get 1 million people to give me $1, then I realize that I can get 1 million people to give me their second dollar. So not only will I be a millionaire, but then I could be a two millionaire. But here's the deal. If a few of those people decide not to give me their second dollar, that doesn't really equate to me losing out on loyalty and branding, which will bring me still closer to $2 million than the $1 million. But what if that one person who gave me that $1 million decides that they're taking their million somewhere else? I still got to go find more people. So be willing to serve others. Be willing to serve more people. Be willing to take on more clients. Be willing to accept the extra. Pat.
Well, and we all learn by helping others. We don't learn by being within ourselves. You know, we need to study what's in ourselves, and we need to decide what we're going to become. But without anybody else, I mean, the worst punishment we know to mankind is solitary confinement. Why are you putting yourself in the cage? Go out and help others.
Go out and help others, guys. So here's the deal. Hey, Nikhil, thanks so much for joining. Miss Sloan is in the building. Hey, the seats are open, guys, just so you know, in case you wanted to jump in, had something to say. It's not a me show. It's a we show. We definitely do open up the seats for you to be able to share any thoughts that you have about anything that we talk about today or any good news that you want to add to our show today. Feel free to do that. We're going through the law of the ladder. It's talk about character development so you can have personal growth, character development so you can have personal growth and you can reach your maximum potential. And as we're talking about the perspective matters, we've talked about being willing to serve others, being teachable, recognizing that everyone has a weakness and remembering the big picture, but then also you want to be grateful. That's the last point. You want to be grateful. You know, if you can't appreciate the things that you currently have in life, how in the world do you expect to be able to appreciate the new stuff that may come across your path? You got to be grateful for what you do have, and then you're able to actually really accept the other things that may be coming your way. And I found that it's the ungrateful people that don't have much coming their way, but it's the grateful people who seem to always have something coming their way. They always seem to recognize opportunity. They always seem to have that what they call the Midas touch because they're grateful for what the things that they already do have. I'm grateful for the things that I already do have, no matter how big or small. It's the fact that I appreciate how far I have come thus far in life. Pat.
Well, and you can test this theory every day. You know, if you go to a restaurant and the waitress comes to you and does, you know, and brings you anything, if you make it a habit and a practice to recognize them, be thankful and say thank you, you set yourself apart from the majority of people in society. You will get more attentive from anybody if you actually recognize them and appreciate them. And like I said, you can test this at any restaurant, any day you go out to eat. If you just recognize people and appreciate to them, they'll be more attentive to you because they'd rather deal with somebody who appreciates them than with everybody else there. And and you'll be taken care of better because you're taking care of others better. And it ricochets out into the world.
This same principle, Pat, as you're talking about that, man, it comes down to the businesses that you guys are running as well. Do you really appreciate your customers? And if so, do you really show it? Like, it's one thing to say that you appreciate someone, right? It's another thing to actually show it. You know, it's one thing to tell your wife that you love them. It's another thing to show it. And I can tell you this, guys, if you show more than you say, and you need to say to validate, then there'll never be a question of whether you do or you don't, because you're always showing it. You're showing it to your kids. You're showing it to your wife. You're showing it to your customers. And so now when you say it, they're like, yeah, I believe you. But if you say it, but don't show it, there's a conflict there. And it's going to be hard to determine, okay, which one do I believe? And more often than not, we're going to believe the action because that's really what's going on deep down inside. So you not only want to say it, but you also want to show that you appreciate others. You appreciate your customers. You appreciate your partner. You appreciate your kids. You appreciate your community. Is it showing up as well as you may be saying and you may believe it, but are you actually showing it with your actions? Now, go ahead, Pat.
I'm sorry. Do every one of your customers a day or so later get a thank you message from you? I mean, that's something we did institute in our heat and air company, is a day or two later, they got another message, and a simple thank you message. And if they had spent a certain amount of money, we actually sent them a physical thank you card and cookies or brownies. You want to see the reviews that we kind of get for just what we consider common courtesy, which it's not common.
Yeah, it's not common.
It's not common.
Uncommon courtesy.
But it used to be common, simple things. Yeah, it's not complicated. It's simple. When was the last time you had a service provider come to your house that a day or two later either got a thank you email, a thank you text, a physical card mailed to you? I mean, something. What happened to the word thank you in our society?
And I'm telling you, uncommon courtesy, man. Find a way to do it, guys. I'm telling you, one of the things that's helped me to be successful, in case you guys don't know, I do a lot of, I'm big on social media. And one of the things that's helped me to be successful in garnering attention and getting clients and customers is a simple thing like this. I tell everybody every day who has a birthday, happy birthday. Everybody every day. This goes for my Facebook accounts and it also goes for my LinkedIn accounts. I tell them every time I get a chance, whoever's birthday it is or supposedly is, because they might put in different dates, whatever, happy birthday. What does that do, man? I'm doing something that most people simply won't do. Uncommon courtesy. And guess what happens? Man, I don't know. Maybe I don't know this Evan guy. We're just friends, but we're not really friends. They go look on my page. The next thing you know, they're scrolling down, liking stuff. The next thing you know, I become higher up in their feed when they log on to those particular platforms. It's the simple things that we might overlook, showing our appreciation for others that could actually, in the end, still benefit us. Now, I don't do it to benefit myself. I do it just to say, hey, this is a special day to you. But yeah, I don't know about that, man. Oh, you said very cool. Real estate agents, he remembers his anniversaries, remembers birthdays, and he's got some system set up. This part of that developing strategies and systems, right? Mm-hmm. You've got some system set up for you to be able to remember when you had that customer first. We used to do this in car sales, right? A year after they bought a car from us, we'd be reaching out to them, seeing how their experience is with their vehicle. It's just the little things that you might want to implement that could help you go a long way. And it doesn't cost you anything but time and energy. Time and energy is all that it costs you. All right. So we've talked about perspective matters. Now we're talking about faithfulness matters. And this says that I will strive to finish well. This is all about the commitment. This is all about the commitment. If you take control of your behavior, your emotions will fall into place. And it says here, Tony Evans says that if you want a better world composed of better nations, inhabited by better states, filled with better counties, made up with better cities, comprised of better neighborhoods, illuminated by better churches, populated by better families, then you'll have to start by becoming a better person. Faithfulness matters. Will you commit? See, long after the enthusiasm wanes, there's this area called commitment. Yeah, you got excited in the beginning. You started something new, and then guess what? The honeymoon ended. Now we got commitment. Are you going to be faithful until the end? Pat.
When this is where the shiny object syndrome gets most of us. It's about time to actually go to work. Well, but here's something new that promises I can do it without work. And so we jump into the next new shiny thing. And guess what? After getting started with that, it needs work too. Nothing happens unless you make it happen. So you're going to have to do the work. Well, there's no need to start over. Do the work with what you got.
Absolutely. Do the work with what you got, guys. So we're talking about this week, man, the law of the ladder. And character grows or character development. And as you develop your character, then your potential will also increase as well. The stronger your character, the greater your growth potential. Now, tomorrow, guys, what we're going to do, we're going to have Fan Friday. So this is an opportunity for you to jump into the seat, share what you have, how you have grown this week or what you've taken away from this week as we're going through the law of the ladder. Says they'll say I got a call from Enterprise Rent-A-Car 20 minutes after I drove out of the parking lot. The courtesy call was to make sure I was satisfied. If there's anything I could do for me, just to call him. He was very impressed. Yeah, absolutely. Enterprise does a wonderful job. And so tomorrow, guys, is going to be an opportunity for you to jump into the seats. They'll be open the whole time. I know some of you guys, make sure you got your ladies, make sure you're ready. Make sure you got your makeup and your hair done and all that good stuff. I know it's early in the morning. Want you to be ready to be able to jump into the seats and share with the village. Here's the deal. As we share with one another, that continues to foster that inspiration and that motivation. And so we do this every Friday. So as we've gone through the law of the ladder, hopefully you've learned some things and hopefully you've grown and you'll be able to share your experiences from this week with the network, with the show, with the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Success Show. So we're here Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, typically 30 minutes. If we have enough participation tomorrow, we may go a little longer because it's Friday and it's all about you, but it all depends on what type of participation we get from the crowd. So that's what it's going to depend on. Pat, you got any last words for the peeps?
Thank you. Thank you for being you. And thank you for going out today. And thank you for going out today and making it better for all of us.
Absolutely. My last words is thank you guys for showing up. There's something to be said about people who just decide to show up. Each and every day they show up. And so I want to thank you guys for showing up. And I want to thank you guys for being awesome because I know you're awesome in your respective fields and you're making a difference. I understand that I attract to myself who I have become. And I know that I'm awesome and I know that you're awesome and we're just awesomeness together. So anyway, guys, we'll be back tomorrow at 7 a.m. Fan Friday. Come ready to share. This is the Wealthy, Healthy, Happy Show. Be wealthy, be healthy, be happy, be of great success today. And we're out.